From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 10 o'clock news.
Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Russ Riesinger. As Americans wait for another round of stimulus checks, questions remain tonight over when they'll show up as the debate rages on in the Senate over President Biden's $1.9 trillion relief plan. The CDC says more than 16% of Americans have now received at least one COVID-19 vaccine dose. But now states are grappling with vaccine equity issues affecting underserved communities. Skylar Henry has the latest from the White House.
Maryland drivers lined up for their vaccines outside a Six Flags theme park. Governor Larry Hogan announced a new vaccine equity task force to help at-risk communities. In California, Governor Gavin Newsom also discussed the issue and had words for anyone trying to game the system.
I was down in East LA the other day at a public housing site, exclusively Latino, and saw these Audis pull up, folks that look like me.
California now plans to set aside 40% of vaccines for vulnerable communities. As states ease restrictions, Alabama is extending its mask mandate once more until April 9th.
At that time, it will become a matter of personal responsibility and not a government mandate.
By next week, 16 states will have no mask requirement.
We no longer need government running your lives. Instead, everybody must continue to assume their own individual responsibility to take the actions that they have already mastered to make sure that they will not be contracting COVID-19.
Texas and Mississippi's broad lifting of restrictions is prompting criticism from health officials and even President Biden, who called it Neanderthal thinking. The president's nearly $2 trillion COVID relief bill saw a contentious first day of Senate debate on Capitol Hill.
I object.
From the start, Republican Senator Ron Johnson objected to dispensing with the reading of the more than 600-page American Rescue Plan Act. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
Well, the U.S. is now averaging 2 million vaccinations a day. As of tonight, 1,391 Montanans have died from COVID-19 related illness. The latest two reported deaths close to home in Yellowstone and Bighorn counties. 73 people are hospitalized tonight across the state. Nearly 100,000 Montanans have now recovered. Online appointments are now open for next week's free COVID-19 vaccination clinic at Metro Park. That includes everyone in Group 1B+, so all individuals over the age of 60. You can make your appointment at mtreadyclinic.org or by calling 406-651-6596. You can head to ktvq.com to learn more. All right, turning to Chief Meteorologist Ed McIntosh now. And Ed, there are a couple of things that we can look out for in the night sky this weekend.
That's right, yeah, especially with the clearer skies that we've been seeing in much of the region. By the time we start getting into tomorrow morning, if you're an early riser and you're into checking things out in the sky, make sure you check out Mercury and Jupiter. They're going to be very close together, the smallest and the largest planet in the solar system, and Mercury is usually kind of hard to pick out, so it's an opportunity. Saturn isn't all that far away either. And then on Saturday morning, again, early risers, because it's going to be just before sunrise, decent chance for you to catch the International Space Station as it whizzes by. About 6 minutes in the sky. Look from the northwest to the east and just look for the thing that doesn't seem to sit still for very long. We'll back look at the forecast details coming up in a little bit.
Thank you, Ed. Earlier this week, 3 right-to-work bills that opponents claim were aimed at weakening Montana's unions were defeated on the floor of the state legislature. And one group paying particular attention to the outcomes, School District 2 teachers. They're now breathing a little easier, but say they're far from happy. Q2's Casey Conlon has more.
They had the opportunities to, make us feel valued without any monetary risks involved. So I guess my question is, why wouldn't you do that?
When House Bill 251 was introduced into the state legislature on January 26th, the Montana Federation of Public Employees went to work. The state's largest union, mainly comprised of teachers, knew the sweeping right-to-work bill could drastically diminish their bargaining power if passed.
Right-to-work laws are designed to eventually disintegrate a union.
So the teachers union began asking the state's largest districts to roll over their current contracts for the next several years as a protection and show of good faith. Billings Education Association President Doug Robison also asked for one more thing.
Teachers in our contract are required to notify the district when they would like to retire and that date is March 1st. And I simply asked Mr. Upham to extend that notification date until we as teachers feel a little bit more secure about what's going to happen in Helena. Those are the two things that I've requested. Neither one of them would cost any money at this point. It creates a simple sense of security for all the teachers.
And Superintendent Upham hasn't been willing to do that as of yet?
No, I've met with him several times. I read a statement to the board at the last board meeting, and I've been met with a negative response to both questions.
When asked why he wouldn't commit to the proposal, Upham pointed to School District 2's current budget concerns.
The level of deficit that we have in our elementary budget, my concern was just unintended consequences of not being able to just completely negotiate in a full-blown manner. We have to have all the tools in the toolbox moving forward to address this issue.
Last year, SD2 cut $4 million from its operating budget to address the shortfall, mostly through eliminating almost 40 full-time equivalent positions.
And I'm noticing some words that we know right in the title.
But after losing almost 400 students to homeschooling because of the COVID-19 pandemic, Upham estimates a minimum $2 million deficit once again next year.
That's without any negotiated amounts on salary adjustments. So that's yet to come. And that you're talking large dollars when you're talking about increasing compensation.
But teachers say this wasn't about wanting more money. This was about sticking to a contract both sides have already agreed to. And that's led to the potentially bigger problem: a growing level of distrust, especially after enduring one of the toughest school years ever.
Everyone felt that going back 5 days a week and getting the kids back in the classroom would be the best course of action to take. However, at the beginning of the year, we were met with things like no contract, an immediate change in schedule.
And staff have really stepped up and I think overcame a lot of challenges and went above and beyond and did an awesome job. So in turn, we were just asking for something in return so we feel valued and maybe appreciated for what we've done. So when the superintendent said, no, we're not going to do that, boy, that made us feel like, okay, we're not appreciated, we're not valued, and that hurts.
Upham says he is empathetic to the teachers' concerns, but again pointed to the bottom line.
The courage that it took for our people to do the work that they've been doing, of being able to stay in school. So yeah, it's a difficult response and surely not intended to be disrespectful. Just trying to do the best that I can moving forward to make sure the district's in a good spot to do our best for years to come.
Based on recent history, teachers worry that spot won't include all of them.
I hope our district can overcome the financials problems that we're in, but I would hope that they would put the money into educators, because if you put the money into teachers and education, in turn that helps the students and benefits the students, and that's really what we're here for.
Casey Conlon, MTN News.
Thanks, Casey. The current School District 2 teachers contract expires on June 30th. The two sides will meet again this summer to work on a new deal. Still ahead on the MTN 10 o'clock news here on Q2, fighting for a cause, the Relay for Life, holding its kickoff event tonight. We're going to take you there. Plus, catch of the day, catch of the decade. One Montana man reels in a record. We're going to show it to you. And in sports, March Madness in full gear as the Central girls try to join the boys in the State A semifinals. Highlights of all that on the way.
From Montana's news leader, you're watching the MTN 10 o'clock news.
The Yellowstone County Relay for Life consistently finishes in the top 10 per capita for fundraising, including last year with a modified event due to COVID. Well, this year's event will also be adjusted, but the goals, well, they're high. Q2's David J. has more from the Relay kickoff tonight.
Well, Russ, we're here at the Marriott Residence Inn now for the Relay for Life kickoff. The theme this year is On the Road Again. They're going to have kind of a hybrid event, they say. Some of it will take place on 24th Street West with a cruise. Last year they had 78 teams. This year the goal is to get that up to 100.
It was such a great turnout, and people were just really loving the drive and dressing their cars up. We had so many wonderful ideas, that just so much creativity in the cars and doing different things with them. Cancer is something that we just about all can have someone we know, a loved one or a friend or a family member that you know has been down that path in life, and I think that's really the core of what pulls everybody together. I know with Yellowstone's dedication that we get from our community, I truly believe that 100 is going to happen this year. It's one of the top cities in the nation, David J. So I mean that's something to really be proud of in Yellowstone. It really is. It's times like now that we need everybody to step forward, you know, to show that we can, even in the middle of a pandemic, and no matter what struggle we have in life, that we can keep stepping forward. To get involved with a charity like Yellowstone Relay for Life that raises such an enormous amount of funds for the community is very, there's a lot of pride that goes along with that as well.
So this was an open house type of kickoff. They had about 2.5 hours there, and all of it was on Facebook Live as well. And the goal this year is to raise $600,000 for Relay for Life. Russ?
All right, thank you, David J. On the road again, Relay for Life Street Edition, scheduled for Friday, July 9th, and Bob McGuire will be the Grand Marshal this year. Up next in weather, Ed says if you're hoping for bitter cold and deep snow, well,